dandy things I think to try that you might need to use. And the first one is the burn and dodge tool. And this tool right here that looks like a magnifying glass actually will lighten an area if an area is too dark, that you can come in and lighten with it. And then the burn tool does the opposite. So say that everything looks right except maybe you need a little shadow. And on this section here, I've copied and pasted this line over here to cover up his hand. And it looks pretty good, except I could come in with a paintbrush or maybe a little shadow will do it. I can decide which when I try it. So again, it works like a paintbrush. You can choose the paintbrush and you can choose the hardness and the softness and all those things on it. So right now I have 50% exposure and midtones, and I can try to just darken up an area quite slightly and see how that brings that into shadow right there, so it looks just like the section above it. And that's real simple with just the darken those colors and do that just in a really natural manner. So I can just come in then and go over the top of a color that looks right and darken it for shadows or lighten it when I need to lighten it with the burn or the dodge tool. The second one is what I did up here to try to get here as well. So maybe the easier way to do it is just come and copy a section of that that's correct. And okay, now I've got it selected and I'll copy it, and then I can paste it in as many times as I need to. Whoops, I moved the wrong one. And then move that up and resize it by free transform to try to copy and cope with the fingers, covering where the fingers were. And then if I have a line or I have it just a little bit off, I can erase, and then I can use my stamp tool. So I've just corrected that exactly right there. And then I can just erase that edge. And once I merge that down, I'll stamp that little bit of a line there. And then paste it in again. So I pasted the curves to collect the curves here in that wire. You know, you can free transform and paste and turn anything that you need to do. So edit, free transform, get it in, move it, align it up, click, and then erase. So then once I'm done and I have that stamp used, I'll come up here and darken it with my burn tool as well, so that I can get that lined up and it looks seamless there to cover up that part of his finger there. That's pretty easy. And it's better than trying to paint it in with your paintbrush one step at a time and never have it quite match. And to do a surreal or a fantasy piece and have it be convincing, this is what you have to become a master at, is fixing things that no longer will be there because you've erased something. All right, so now I have that stripe merged down. I'll come in with my handy dandy clone stamp and get rid of any lines. And I can clone stamp this little bit here. All right, and then I'll come in with my dodge tool and darken and fix the shadows. And then last but not least, if the edge is too hard, then I come and use my blur edge to soften that in just a little bit with my blur tool. And then I'll look at it. And he has a shadow. It's pretty good. Put the dog's hand back in. It looks still a little bit bumpy right there and right there, so I'm going to have to come in and work on it. It's just a little bit there and there, but you can see the lines and everything are matching up pretty good.